I invented the sorties to simplify the sorting process and to make it more efficient, right? So on the traditional conveyor lines, there was no way to report back to the customer site specifically, and I had to destroy the material to get it to the conveyor line. So when I started here out of high school in the summer times, I would sort the loads, and back in the 80s, we were sorting things by hand. They called it the BH method, by hand. So we would sit on the ground and we would pull out any recyclables that we could. And it was a very efficient way of doing it, but at that time it seemed kind of slow and onerous. So now we have a larger facility and we have more resources to do it. And instituting these sorties made the ground sort, the hand separation, manual sorting work. When we switched from an automated conveyor line to the ground, our recovery rates increased probably 20%. When we introduced the sorties, I think we went up another 10 to 15%. The material comes into our facility, goes on the tipping floor. Nothing happens to that until the sorties come around and I separate cardboard, I separate wood, I separate iron. Our guys kind of just surround the loads and separate each commodity out of the load. So I can have anywhere from 1 to 6 different sorties around this load. The sorting method is unique to Richard S. Burns. Separating the loads into different commodities is not something. It's something that people have been trying to do in this industry for the last 20 years and have been unsuccessful with doing. The sorties is the vehicle that allows that to become more efficient and workable. They can get in and out of some really tight spots, and that was part of the design because the loads are dumped so close together. These sorties and the JCBs needed to be highly maneuverable. We fabricated it on site, so we made a prototype up, and the first prototype was good, but I think we went through probably about 5 or 6 versions until we came up with what we're actually using on the ground right now. I've had them out there 8 years now, and I've replaced a couple tires, but basically that's it. I mean, they're made out of heavy-duty 3/16 steel on the sides, 1/4-inch steel on the bottom. We tapered the cart, so the cart is tapered slightly out and tapered from the flat side to the tapered side so that the material can't get choked in there, so it's self-relieving. So when you lift it up in the air, the widest part of it is at the bottom, and that's where the taper is. Yeah, the whole thing is designed to easily get the material out and move material. I'm a minimalist. I don't want maintenance. I don't want elaborate systems that are going to break down. So I wanted to break it down to the simplest possible form. So originally I had come up with a 4-wheel cart, but there's no way to stop it from rolling away from you when you're on a grade. I talked about motorized carts, but then their maintenance. We were using our loader buckets. We were just throwing the material on the ground and having loaders come over and scoop it up. We had excavators sorting the material. And I thought, you know, if I just had a bin that I could just dump out somewhere, and then all I have to do is lift it up and gravity does all the work. I very rarely replace the tires. There's no maintenance on the cart. And the vehicle that does it, we do it with a skid steer. It's a super efficient, low maintenance, low cost solution.
The sort line system was created for job-specific reporting. What you can't do is eyeball a material that comes off of a job site. Every material has to be weighed. So what the Tommy cart system does, and the sort line system, is it weighs each individual cart on the ground. It then lifts it and tips it onto a conveyor belt. Everything is hand sorted into weighted bins. Each commodity, there's 10 bins, there's 5 on each side, and our pickers take the commodities and place them into its respective bin. And that allows us to get accurate weights of each stream that is coming off a construction site.
There's a fresh load of Tommy carts coming in with commingled construction materials. Doesn't need to be source separated. We separate everything for our customers. So on the truck is 21 carts, which is equivalent to a 30 cubic yard dumpster. So we're actually unloading a 30 cubic yard dumpster onto our floor to be weighed and sorted. All right, so this is how it works. We got a barcode on the cart, we put it in the staging area. As soon as we shut the safety door, everything begins. Cart's red, it's weighed, taken up to be sorted, and everything's gonna be recorded back to our customers. Behind me, you'll see something completely different. Most people in this industry try to convince the customers to source separate the material because they don't have the capability of reporting the material and separating the materials back to the customers accurately. So what we invented here was a system to weigh the carts, dump the carts, weigh the commodities efficiently, and get everything back to the customer. Whether it's commingled, whether it's source separated, it doesn't matter. We don't require the customers to sort the material out on their job sites. We're the professionals. We recycle and we report everything back to our customers. We don't ask our customers to do our job for us. A lot of developers, a lot of contractors are trying to get to a zero waste position. This helps our contractors and their customers not only maintain a clean, efficient job site, but get the data that they need back to be a zero waste facility.